So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was technically drafted by the Hornets in this previous NBA draft, but he was quickly traded to the Clippers for Miles Bridges, which means he'll be sharing some backcourt time with Lou Williams for the foreseeable future. And because of his length, I think Alexander can be one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. I am intrigued by his abilities to get by defenders and finish at the basket. And then I hope that his jump shot can force defenders to respect him from out there, because if that's the case, then he can be a really all-around player. But let's start with that defense, because I do think this is his best quality. He's 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, and that's the type of thing where you're usually going to see that out of a wing player. But with Alexander playing the point guard position, that makes him one of the more interesting players in this NBA draft. I think he will be able to cause a lot of deflections, steal a lot of possessions from NBA guards, and I think he's going to block a few more shots than you would expect someone of his position to do as well. He's already a pretty good on-ball defender, but even if you beat him, there's a chance that he's still going to swat your shot into the front row. He kind of reminds me of DeJounte Murray, who was second-team All-NBA this season, where he just uses those long arms and that length and his smarts defensively to do some things that you wouldn't expect of him, right, as a point guard. So Shai should replicate a lot of what DeJounte does, and I would expect him to defend all sorts of positions in the NBA. His team defense is not a problem either. Well, it's a problem for the opposing team, I should say. You see him here, the way that he knows what to do almost instinctively. He defends the ball, then he closes out to the shooter and even blocks his shot. And now when we move on to his offensive game, the thing you notice immediately is his ball handling. He's a pretty crafty creator, and I would expect him to be able to force the issue offensively, maybe not right away, but you give him a season or two and I could see him running pick and rolls, the occasional isolation for the Clippers. He can really beat defenders in one-on-one situations. He's got crossovers, in and out moves, between the legs. I mean, he's got hesitations. He's got it all. As for his finishing at the basket, that is maybe not as much of a sure thing as his handle is, because while he's a good athlete, he's not an explosive one for his position, so maybe he doesn't always get the height that you want on layups and all that. So that will be a question in the NBA, is if he can finish effectively. But based on what we've seen in Summer League, at least, I think we saw some good things, because his first step was effective enough to get him into the teeth of the defense, and he was able to just finish through rim protection. Now, of course, these are not starters in the league. These are maybe not even guys who are going to play 20-something minutes a game, so we're going to have to wait and see once he's actually playing real NBA minutes, but the transition from college to summer league seemed to go pretty okay for him. We can now move on to his playmaking. I would say his passing is not necessarily a strength or a weakness right now. It just kind of is what it is, which is he's not a natural playmaker, but he's able to make plays for teammates. I don't expect him to read the defense and anticipate help and all that. I mean, maybe one day, but give him some time on those things. But that being said, if someone is left open, or if he's in transition and he's got a teammate or two running on the wing with him, he's not a selfish player. He will get them the ball, but I wouldn't expect him to be some big-time assist guy. And I would even say there may be a few times where perhaps he takes an ill-advised shot or he does miss an open teammate, but I think overall it'll go pretty well. Now, his jump shot, on the other hand, could potentially be a negative. Not even just from three, but just scoring outside of the paint in general. What could be a good sign is that he's willing to take pull-ups and floaters and all that, so that's something for you at least. But his natural game is definitely to get as close to the rim as possible. He's going up against better defenders in the NBA. What's going to happen? Is he going to be forced to go to these pull-up shots that he can make but are still not ideal? And while he was willing to shoot like 12-footers, he wasn't too hyped about shooting outside jumpers that often in college. Even if his form isn't that terrible, even if it might need a little bit of an adjustment there, I mean, his actual percentage was pretty good. It's just a matter of, is he willing to shoot them? Is he going to be comfortable taking a three-pointer that's deeper than the college one? But the main thing with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still that insane wingspan of 7 feet tall, combined with his ball handling ability that can get him into the defense and he can make plays for his teammates. And then there's that defense, which I think is going to annoy the hell out of a lot of NBA players for a long time.